Apex Hours. Hey everyone, I'm a developer advocate here at Salesforce, and thanks for tuning in this morning. If you're joining from US to Apex Hours LinkedIn Live, and also good evening to everyone joining from Asia Pacific, and I think good evening to everyone joining from Europe here. So thank you again for joining. I have a very exciting update to share. Code Builder is now GA. That means, all of you who have access to paid Salesforce orgs will have this tool available for you. So there are a number of licenses that you get for free depending on your edition. It basically gets bundled with your Salesforce licenses. So you have Code Builder from today, and I'm going to show you some of the features of Code Builder, so you can see how you can use this Code Builder to build your apps easily. Um, so before I get started, right, like why Code Builder and what is its advantage? All of you would have used our Visual Studio extensions for Salesforce development. Those extensions are great. We still support them. Those were desktop-based tools, and a lot of you had expressed previously that it's an additional overhead to install all these tools on your machine. Use the RAM of your machine and storage, and also there's some installation time. So having to install and download all of these developer tools used to consume some of your time. So that, and a lot of you are already used to like building Salesforce apps from web, using your IDE on the browser. I mean, we provided developer console before. That was the only IDE experience, but a lot of you were using that. So I'm excited to announce that with Code Builder, right, you can just use the browser to build, Salesforce specific applications. And I'm going to show you how to do that, how to enable Code Builder in your environment. You'll basically need administrator rights at this point. So if you're not an administrator, ask your administrator to give you Code Builder and enable it for the org, so that you can take or make use of this web IDE to start building Salesforce applications. With that, Amit, how about we start sharing our screen? Are we sharing our screen? Yeah. I think
Yeah, you are already sharing.
yeah. Thank you, Amit. So we are sharing the screen. So I'm in a Salesforce org actually. So if you have a paid Salesforce edition org, I want to make this very clear, right? It won't be enabled in your developer org, but if you have, if you're working for, let's say, a customer who has Salesforce instance, who's bought Salesforce licenses, right? They will get this new option called Code Builder. So you will see Code Builder here, um, and as soon as I click on that, I should see a setup screen here, Builder, and it just takes one button, simple click to enable. So once you enable, since I've already installed the package, it doesn't give me the link to install, but really there will be a nice little button here that says install package, and that's the first thing that they will have to do to set it up for you, is like enable Code Builder and then install the package. Now once the package is installed, there is a permission set group that needs to be assigned to your user, and the permission set group that I will just show, it is called Code Builder Group. So Code Builder Group is the permission set. It has all permissions you need for Code Builder. So make sure that this permission set actually gets assigned. In this case, I think I've already sort of assigned this permission to myself actually. Maybe I don't have it. I'm gonna try assign it to myself. um, this should make your lives easier. So once you kind of assign these permission set group, right, you can access Code Builder like any other Salesforce application, like sales, service, any other application that your end users are used to. So if you search for Code Builder, you see there's no more beta here. So you click on that, and then that brings you to a dashboard, what we call it as dashboard. And from here, all that you do is, for the very first time, it will ask you to create an environment, and it will create a virtual environment for you, Code Builder environment that we call. that will allow you to code. Now, I have already created that environment. It will ask you for a few details, but once you click that, it will allow you to easily spin up that environment. But I have already created that, so all I will do is launch that environment. It's going to launch that environment. It takes few seconds. So first time, because I had already preloaded, it was really quick. But really, for the first time, it's going to take some time, maybe a minute or so, because it has to create a container in the background with all the all the configurations here. um, so I take some time, like 1.5 minute, but once you do that, you can see now it's more seamless. I can refresh my screens, and if you're used to beta, like these things used to take time, but no more. You will see that it will refresh. I have already gone ahead and created a DX, like a project, right? So I will show you how to get started, how to create a project, and then how to, like, you know take advantage of all the features that we have given here. So let me walk you through, like, how to create project once you have your code builder environment sort of created. So just to reiterate, right? So code builder dashboard will be there. You'll have a button to create environment. Like, you see, I have a button to, I've already created an environment, and the environment will look like something like this. It will create a domain for you automatically, and that is where you will start, like, creating Salesforce projects. So let me show you how to create a Salesforce project. So to do that, you can say sfdx and load all the all the command that you are used to already. If you are sort of working already on on your desktop, right? It's the same experience, actually. The interface is very, very similar if you're used to, like, VS Code desktop. But let's say you're not used to that experience, right? We make it very easy for you by giving you uh, a neat little resource panel. So as you can see, there's a resource panel here that you can always bring it up, and we always bring it up by clicking on this cloud icon with a question mark here. Um, and here you a lot of quick videos, trails, help, documentation, developer guide. You can even take a tour of this whole code builder of what you can do. So we make it very easier to understand, like, how to use this tool, right? So this is all available to you. But going to show you today some of the ways to actually use this tool. Thing we can do is we'll create a project today. So let's use sfdx, and if create a project, create our let's say we want to create a project. So let's create a project here. So you can choose the template, just like how you're used to. So we can start choosing, like, let's say a standard template here. So we can say standard, and then it will start asking me to fill out some details. It should pop in now, and it should ask me to fill out the details. Let me just give one more try here. All right, let's go and say standard. Did we lose Amit here? We are back. We lose Amit.
We are back.
Amit, I think we had we had a network issue or something.
Yep,
That's
you are
fine.
back. With
There you go. So I'm trying to, I'm trying to create a project. Let's call it as Apex Hours Demo Project, maybe Demo Project. So and that's gonna ask me where I want to create this project. So you can see that I can choose that I want it inside my code builder folder. So the home folder, and then there will be a code builder folder. So we say okay. So this is gonna create that project for me. So you will see that it's gonna create that project, and then it's gonna load that project into my workspace. So you can see I've created the project here. Now I can easily switch between different projects right? Some of you are working in consulting organizations, or some of you are building ISV apps where you have those projects, right? So you can easily switch between them by actually going to the file here, like Explorer here, and go here, and then look for so you can go here and say open folder, and you can see within this folder I have multiple projects. So you to whatever projects you want, you can create how many ever projects you want. Just note that for one code builder instance, we have like a limit of 10 GB. So 10 GB of data we store, but we always recommend that you use like a version, cut up your code as. Right, I
We are
think,
back.
yeah, we are having some network issues here. Okay, so we are back here. So just to give you a little bit of background of what we were doing here, right? So we were actually creating this demo project, and now you can actually connect to your orgs by just clicking on here, and I can say I have to authorize an org. I click on that, indicate what type of org that I can connect to. You can connect to production, you can connect to your sandbox and scratch orgs. In this case, it's production org, right? So I can even put an alias here, my dev org, and it will start opening a window for me to authorize. Note that the authorization flow will be a little different because we use device based authentication. So it's going to ask me for my credentials. I say login, and that's going to log in. So there you go. So now if I come back, it would have connected to this org that I'm used to, right? So you can see I'm connected to that org. Now I can also switch between already orgs that are already connected to. So I can connect as many orgs as I want. And here you can see that I can connect to my org that I was previously there. So you can switch between different orgs that you want, and you can switch between different projects by just going to that open folder, and you can find all of your projects here. So once you have that, right, makes it very easy to write code or pull metadata from your org. So what you could do is you could use an org browser. Like for example, here I have an org browser here. So I'm gonna refresh that. You can see it's going to bring all the metadata that I have in my org, so you can download all of them. um, at this point, to download all of them, you'll have to use command line, which we also support in code builder. Let's say today I'm just going to download all the Apex classes that I have. I have only a couple of classes here, but I'm going to click on here and download everything. So now everything is being retrieved to my uh, local computer, as you can see, not local computer but on the cloud this time. So I have a couple of classes here, and you can see I have been able to sort of retrieve the code for it. Now before I move, let's see if we have any questions, Amit. There is one question from valid. Valid is asking how many licenses are available for an unlimited org. um, So for an unlimited org, you'll have 100 licenses available to you. If you need more than that, you will have to work with your AE, but you'll have 100 code builder licenses available for you. So that's one of the questions. Yeah. So when will be Code Builder available in Salesforce org? Right now, it's GA, Niket. So it's right now available. As I said, go to if you have your customer, ask your customer that go to Code Builder, and enable Code Builder from the setup and install the package. and then provide you with a permission set access so you can start using code builder. Do we need to enable code builder in all sandboxes? No. um, you can enable code builder in the production directly, and that allows you to create these environments, and you can connect to as many sandboxes or developer orgs or scratch orgs. Cool. All right. Is it possible that it's available as a standalone and doesn't need to be installed in the org? No, that's not possible. It's always org based. So that's how we calculate the number of licenses that are getting used. Is only accessible per production. How about devs who can access only sandboxes? So the this is a good question actually. So there is no way. You will need an access, like you will need a license. There are also dev licenses that we are giving there, so you can read about that in our docs here, of how you want to how to set it up. um, and you can see you will need access to at least a free limited access license or an identity license, so that you can get access. So ask your customer or an administrator for that, and they should be able to provide that to you as a developer. All right, so moving on actually. So the next thing that I wanted to show you was bringing extensions. So this release, right, when we launch code builder, we preload you with some extensions already, right? But now we allow you to bring any other extensions from the VSX marketplace. Now I want to be specific here because so for example, I have Einstein for developers installed. um, you can see it's showing all the extensions, but I want to be specific. So we support only extensions that are there on the open VSX marketplace. So open VSX registry is a vendor neutral marketplace to put VS code extensions. So any extensions that are there here, you can actually install them in your code builder environment. So for example, we have Einstein for developers, right? So I have made sure to install Einstein for developers, like this one, right? So we made sure that we publish our all of our extensions on marketplace. So we will install all the Salesforce related extensions for you, except like if you need Einstein for developers, since it's in beta, right? You have to install it yourself. And then I've also installed another extension that we launched, called Code Analyzer. Let's see if we have that. It's called Salesforce Code Analyzer. So that's another extension that got launched and we installed. So this one, Salesforce Code Analyzer. So again, it's on Open VSX registry. So if you are building your own extension, make sure you publish it on Open VSX registry, and then you will be able to see those extensions within your code builder environment too. So I can show you some of these in action here. So for example, now you have Einstein here. You can ask Einstein to do certain things, and it can auto generate code for you. Like for example, I can say, create a class called hello world, and create a method, say hello, right? And this method just or this method prints hello world, right? So you can write natural language and ask Einstein to actually help you. So you can see it auto generated the code for you. You can write more prompts. This is a different topic that I've covered in Code Live in our YouTube channel, Salesforce Developers YouTube channel, where you can find more ways of writing prompts. So you can auto generate code like this, right? So once you generate, like for example, we can I'll show you how to like how this works within Code Builder, right? So pretty much same. You can create your classes, and then I can basically put the class here, and then it'll have um, ways for me to actually deploy that. So I showed you how to retrieve certain things like metadata and code, and I've also shown you how to sort of deploy things from here. The interesting thing is this is classes, right? But you also can create your own LWCs too, right? Let's say I want to create a simple LWC just to show you. You can create an LWC like this, and it will automatically create LWCs too. So here we go. So it created the LWC folders here. Not sure why it said failed, but here you can see it has LWCs too. So you can, right, LWCs, you can also deploy these LWCs to the org too. And it should go deploy the bundle. So this allows you to easily now work with LWCs as well within your org. So let's see if there are any more questions before I kind of move ahead here. All right, so looks like we don't have a lot of questions here, but feel free to ask. Good evening, everyone. Can we create scratch arc from here? Yes, you can. So to create scratch arcs, all you need to do is make sure you enable DevHub. I hope I've enabled DevHub here. So I've enabled DevHub, right? And then um, this is sandboxes. You can enable developer source tracking. But once you enable DevHub, right, you should be able to create scratch arcs. So for example, I can go here and say SFDX, create a default scratch arc, right? No default, it says no default DevHub is set. So it tells me to set up a DevHub. So we can go here and set up our DevHub, connect. Yes, so I can set up my DevHub. So now that I've authorized the DevHub, right, I can actually, so once it authorizes a DevHub, I can actually go ahead and do um, a simple um, scratch art creation. Now, one thing I want to tell is anything that you can do in desktop, pretty much you can do everything. Only difference is there you are storing the code to your local machine. Here we store it on the cloud in the code builder environment. So you're not using your machine altogether. You can see this is all launched within the browser. So since it's now authorized the DevHub, next thing we can do here is we can go ahead and say create a default scratch arc and provide the scratch arc definition, uh, and you will see that it will start creating a default scratch arc. Now here it's failing. Okay, so my org that I connected to is not a DevHub. Basically, that's why. If I had connected to a DevHub org, then it will allow me to create the. It will definitely allow me to create it. Now we can actually go to that org that I think it was this org, and we can enable DevHub. That should allow us to create. I have multiple orgs basically. Maybe the DevHub is not okay. This org doesn't have DevHub, I guess. Okay, this doesn't have a DevHub, but I have another org which has it. So if I had authorized that one, that would have let me create it. Any other questions before we kind of move ahead with showing some other things? So other thing that I want to mention is GitHub integration, right? So this has GitHub client automatically available, right? So so is there a plan to integrate with DevOps Center in the future? You can actually commit to commit to branches created from DevOps Center too. So there's no need for like specific integrations to be required, but yeah. Can we send code base to GitHub repository from code builder? Yes, that's a good question. Yes, you can. That's what I was about to show here. So you can do a git init, um, and it will create a Git branch. So you can see it has already started tracking all the ones, right? uh, and so once you do that, right, you can see you can do a Git commands like this, Git add, right? And I can start committing either from my command line terminal, um, or I can do it from here, right? So I can say my first commit, right? We can say read my first commit, right? So just put a commit message and you can commit it. So here in this case, right, I have not configured username and email, right? So that's why it is throwing up this error. But really, if you had, you can easily configure this by providing your email and the name here. So there's a little bit of configuration. So for example, I can provide my email here, and that will configure the GitHub for me. I think we can also do it from here. Let's see. So turn on cloud changes. Let's see if we install the. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's try it from command palette only. We can copy this. So the good thing is it shows all the things now, so it makes it easier to work with. So I can simply copy here, just put my email address here. So there you go. So one of them was that, and then what else? It asked me to configure my username. I can copy that. Let's say my username. All right. So now we should be able to commit. There you go. You see, I was able to commit it. Now we could even publish this whole branch, but it'll ask me to set up the GitHub extension is now automatically asking me to sign using my GitHub. Um, Again, to finish navigating, paste in the above one-time code, copy and continue. So it will basically um, allow me to, like, you can configure a trusted domain. You can trust GitHub, right? But once I don't have to log into my GitHub account here, but once you kind of log into the GitHub account, it will let you sync all of the code that you have from here. So basically, you will create a GitHub repository, and you can do all of the source control and versioning. You can even pull in projects from your GitHub. So that is also possible, like public projects. So I can show you an example of that. So let's say I do a CD. Let me actually get to my GitHub. So, for example, you can clone any of our apps too, because our apps are always on. Like for example, Dreamhouse, right? If you want to like work with Dreamhouse app, so this one, Dreamhouse app. So here we can actually clone our Dreamhouse app too. We can go here, we can copy this, right? So here, so that is what the other thing is. It comes with like both the SF version of the CLI, right? It has all the node and all the Java that is required to run. Everything is installed here, including Git. So I can simply clone my projects like this. So you see it's actually cloning. um, so now it's actually cloning. So it is cloned, right? So now if I actually go here, like file, and say open folder, you can see that I have that Dreamhouse app with me already, and I can just open that and start working on that. So that is the easiest way actually to clone an application that's there in your source control. So you can also install code tour if you want. I don't want it at this point, but you can see all of our code base is here, and you can start actually opening the files and start working on them. Any questions so far before we kind of move ahead here? All right, so let's actually move on. So the other thing that I wanted to show is, so let's actually come back and switch to the previous folder that I was working on, which is Apex Hours Demo Project. So let's switch back to that. So the other features that I wanted to show you was you can actually customize to however you want. Like for example, themes. Like some of you prefer dark themes, right? So you can pretty much activate the themes that you like. So for example, I want dark theme, so I can activate the dark theme here. Um, the other thing that I wanted to show you was simply like the ability to bring these extensions from VSX has given us enough power. So for example, now what we could do is, because I have this extension called Salesforce Code Analyzer with me, right? This extension called Salesforce Code Analyzer. I can actually scan this code to see if there are any security issues with this code. So we can just click on here, left click here. One sec, it's just pasting something. So you can see here, and you can say scan current file with Code Analyzer. So you can click on that, and that should actually run Code Analyzer. So you see Code Analyzer is actually running, and the Code Analyzer will highlight, like if there are any security vulnerabilities. So you can see I can highlight on here, and it says that the CRUD permission before so-called DML operation, right? So there's a CRUD permission issue here, right? So those kind of little things, it will help to um, identify. So any code vulnerabilities you have, any violations you have, so you can figure that out. Actually, even you can do graph based analysis too. So that will give you a report. If you want to like submit this app for security review, it will give you a nice little report where you can see what are the vulnerabilities that your code has. So all those things are possible now because you can bring in extensions from third party as well as our own Salesforce provided extensions on VSX. So those things are possible now. Uh, Anything else that you would like to see here? I'm happy to demo. But basically, the bottom line is it's available. It should make um, building apps easier. We'll have a blog post coming today on developer website. So, what are the other benefits of using Code Analyzer over Apex PMD? That's a good question. Actually, we use Apex PMD behind the scenes for Apex classes, but you have to scan your JavaScript code. Also, so what Apex PMD does is it only gives you the security vulnerabilities, right? That are there in the code, and also it does a static. Basically, it does a static analysis of your code. But let's say you want to do a graph based analysis, and also you want to scan for JavaScript vulnerabilities, third party components vulnerabilities. So there are more than PMD engines that are baked into the Code Analyzer. And this is a product actually that is out there. So you can see Code Analyzer, you can go there, look at Code Analyzer Salesforce, just say Code Analyzer Salesforce, and you will find a lot of good documentation around what it can do and how it works. So it is more than Apex scanning. It has ESLint for JavaScript linting, retire.js for figuring out any JavaScript vulnerabilities. Graph Engine, actually, that's the most exciting part. So Graph Engine actually analyzes and find out code that not only violates your CRUD FLS, right, but it also looks for unused variables and things like that. So those kind of analysis as well. Does the email and name should be same as what is configured in the GitHub? Yes. Yes, that has to be same as that. So once you try to like create, does code builder comes with pre-installed node.js? That is correct actually. So it will come pre-installed. So I can show you actually. So what happens is, like, as you can see here, I can say node version, right? And it'll tell me the exact node version that it came with. So it will have all the node version installed for you automatically. So you can actually do pretty some cool stuff, like for example, I can do an npm install on this, and this will install. Okay, so I might not be in the right folder, so let's actually move to the right folder. So it's pure command line, right? So we can say ls, we can move into this project that we just created today. um, and then what we can do here is we can do an npm install here, so it install all the libraries that are there that comes with this project. And then you can use some of the features that we give. So this project that comes here, right, it always comes with a few node.js package here, right? So here you can see it has, so it installed. So first of all, it actually installed everything here. So it installed all these tools that you need. So for example, if I had to like format this specific um, this file, I could just click on here and then say format document, and it will format prettier for me. You can even adjust tab sizes and things like that. So for example, I can have a prettier ERC here. We can adjust the tab width. So let's say for my code, I want, so by default, there's 2 tabs. Let's say I want 4 tabs. I can come here and I can say format document here. So there you go. So it actually formats your code. So all those capabilities. So if I have to format this one, I can come here and say again format. There you go. It just formats. So it was already formatted. So yeah, so that's code builder in nutshell. It's available again, starting today. You can see that it's we've also updated our release notes. So develop from anywhere using code builder. So it's available in professional, enterprises, performance, and unlimited editions. You can also turn in government cloud, but there are some restrictions. That is, you are sending um, these can send data outside the authorization boundary. So contact executives for more detail. But overall, right, it gives you all the modern development tools that you need to build Salesforce applications from your browser. Also tells you a link to the documentation. So let us know if you have any questions or any feedback. So there's also a Trailblazer community group here where you can post questions if you're doing something and if you're finding it hard, right? Um, so yes, let us know, and let us know your feedback. Uh, Code Builder is kind of launched. So if you have any feedback, just reach out to us on that Trailblazer community, and we make it easy actually. So if you actually go to the Code Builder, you can find the Trailblazer community link somewhere here, like feedbacks or bugs. And it you can also submit on this GitHub repository too. But I think somewhere we also should have, maybe the docs have those links to the Trailblazer community, but you can go there. So we have all the documentation here, um, some trails if you are new to Salesforce development, some quick tours, and things like that. Do we have the limit of number of working hours? Glad you asked, Lokesh. In beta, Salesforce just provided 20 hours. No, that is gone. There is no limit on the number of hours. How to deploy changes from code builder to org? Pretty simple. If you want to deploy, I can show you how. So if you go to your whole folder, right, so you can connect to multiple orgs like this. So I've connected to multiple orgs here. You can authorize and connect to as many orgs as you want. Once you do that, all you need to do is just click on the folder that you want to deploy or the file. You can deploy a file or the whole folder. Let's say I have deployed the whole folder, so I can say here and say deploy source to org. It'll kick off the deployment, and you can see that it deployed. Since there are only few things here in this folder, it actually deployed everything. Availability of code builder during network outages. That's glad that you asked. We partner with AWS behind the scenes for this. So the availability is pretty high, but sometimes if AWS has issues, those are that sometimes that there might be some things. But no, overall I would say we strive for like 100% availability, but we strongly recommend that you put all your code like this, all the code changes that you are doing, sync it up to the Git so you don't lose all your code, right? So if you're working in code builder, make a habit to sync it to the GitHub. So that way it's easier. Anything else from anyone else, before I kind of wind down? And I'm looking forward to everyone using this, sharing feedback on LinkedIn and Twitter. And yeah, hopefully this enables you to build applications faster than you were previously with all of the things. I just want to remind again, you have Einstein sidebar here. You can enable Einstein, and from there you can create code and use natural language to create code. You can use code analyzer to analyze that code and find any security vulnerabilities in the code. So for example, with code analyzer here, I can click and find if there are any code vulnerabilities here, and you don't have to install a lot of tools because we already set this whole thing for you. See, this file didn't have any violations, so it's happy. All right, Amit, I think we did very good on time, and we are doing good here.
Thank you, Mohit, for such a great session. And I hope we cover all of the questions. And if you still have any question, feel free to post the question on the LinkedIn or YouTube. We will get the answer for you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mohit, for joining us. And
Thanks
thank you, everyone.
everyone. Happy coding. See ya.